If you haven't heard, Pope Francis is dead. And people are now speculating on who the next pope is going to be. Obviously, this is a period of mourning, and we're really not going to be getting into deep political discussions on who will overtake the papacy in the next day or two, because it's going to take probably at least 2 to 3 weeks before a new pope is elected. Could be wrong, but right now there are a couple of front runners, and if I had to put my money on who it would be, it's between this guy right here, Luis Tagle of Manila, the Philippines, and Pietro Parolin, who is currently the Vatican Secretary of State. Now, these are the two people that are frontrunners because of their connection to Pope Francis. If I'm honest, I don't know if that connection is going to help them massively, because I feel like there is a movement within the Catholic Church and kind of just Western civilization in general that is, if not moving towards a more conservative bent, at the very least, a less progressive bent. And whether you like Pope Francis or not, he was unquestionably a more progressive pope than his predecessors, than Benedict, and some people do not like that. Some people would even call him not the Pope. So I do think there is a possibility of an outsider candidate like Pope Francis was. Pope Francis was in no way, shape, or form in the running at all. No one would have even remotely considered him for winning the election. This is why I do think that Cardinal Turkson of Africa is I believe it's Nigeria. I believe a strong candidate because he has been a kind of vocal opponent, or at least critic, of a lot of Pope Francis's more progressive agendas. And to be honest, the post of Pope at this point is kind of going to be decided by who is the most charismatic messenger of faith. It's not going to be the person who is the best politician necessarily, in the sense of the diplomat, the person who is the best administrator, the person who's the most effective, efficient ruler. That's not going to be the case, I don't think. I think it's going to be the person who is charismatic enough to give their message and who has a good head on their shoulders and a good idea and vision for the immediate future of the Catholic Church. These two frontrunners, definitely, Pietro Parolin and Luis Tagle, also seen right here with the former Pope. They are frontrunners because they are visible. They are frontrunners because they are front and center right now. That does not mean that they will be in any way, shape, or form once conclave starts, even in the running. Does not mean that at all. It just means that people know their name. And that's what these betting markets are deciding on, is basically just, hey, who do we know? We know these guys. Is it going to be them? I don't know. Again, if I had to put money on it, these are the two that I would put money on right now. I would not bet right now, though. There are a couple of more conservative cardinals who are also possible candidates. This one stands out to me a little bit. Cardinal Christoph Schoenborn of Austria. Now, the thing that is working against him is that he is connected to Pope Benedict the 16th, who a lot of people don't like. Again, I think they don't like him because of his less charismatic affect as opposed to Pope Francis. Much more beloved in the vein of like an Obama. Not necessarily that he actually did anything differently than, previous administrations, not that he was a better president or a better pope, but He was a more charismatic communicator, and therefore people like him. That's it. He's just more popular because he's more popular. But I do think there is a real movement in the Catholic Church, maybe not in the cardinals, who are going to be the, people who elect, but in the general Catholic world, of wanting a return to a spiritual center centered in traditional Catholic values. And Christoph Schoenborn, again, people know his name. He's showing up. I haven't seen him in any other articles. This is the only one from the AP that I've seen him in. Again, I believe his name is George Turkson, Cardinal Turkson, I'm just going to say. From Africa is another conservative voice that I would strongly put in the running, although the odds are not in his favor right now. So everyone else is basically just in the running because they're connected to Pope Francis. I don't think he's going to be chosen from there. I could easily be wrong, and I don't want to put my money on anything because right now we have no clue. We have no idea. It might be that there's a legitimate immediate successor. Everybody had it in their heads already, and it could be that people have been planning this for a while, and conclave will be lickety split over with, and we will have a new pope tomorrow. Probably not. But what I will say is that certainly Pope Francis has been sick for a while, although he met with J.D. Vance yesterday, like not even 24 hours ago, and apparently was in better health, or at least looked better than, he had been. So this is perhaps a little bit of a surprise to people. Certainly seems like it. That being said, does anyone else have any idea who might be the next pope? Do we want a more progressive Pope Francis-y character? Do we want a more conservative pope for our coming years? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Good luck in all your endeavors. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I shall say farewell for now.